Yo guys, how you doing? Hope you're doing good. It has been a few days since UFC 329 ended, so I thought, why not make a fights to make video? This will feature mostly winners, some losers on the card, mostly main card fighters. Let's get straight into it. First fight I'm going to talk about is none other than Bobby Knuckles, Robert Whittaker, who got it done over Nikita Krylov in the third round. And in his lightweight debut, I was impressed. Seems like DC, Joe Rogan and the lads weren't, but is what it is. What do they like? Who knows? I was looking through the lightweight rankings last night, and there's one specific matchup that I thought, this is such a winnable fight for Robert Whittaker. It would boost him into the top 10 of the lightweight division if he gets a win. It's a man coming off a loss as well, and that is none other than Mr. Azamat Murzakanov, coming off that KO loss to Paulo Costa back in April at UFC 327. And this is such a winnable fight for Robert Whittaker. Someone closer to his size. He's not a big light heavyweight either, Azamat Murzakanov. I'm not sure his actual height, but I know he's not. He got size mogged completely by Paulo Costa in their fight. And he's ploddy, he is slow. Robert Whittaker's definitely got the speed advantage over him. He's definitely got the boxing advantage over him. Power-wise, Murzakanov is powerful. Robert Whittaker would have to be careful, and I do worry for him in that aspect. But if he can just stay on the outside, jab around, little 1-2, the crafty Bobby Knuckles 1-2 down the pipe, I think he wins this fight. It boosts him into the top 10 of the rankings in the lightweight division. I'm talking about the media rankings, not them weird Meta AR rankings, which is a load of rubbish. Just the most stupid rankings I've ever seen. Either way, it's a winnable matchup for Bobby Knuckles. I think it should be booked on a main card or a pay-per-view sometime soon. Let's do it. Moving on. Bobby Green got that impressive win over Terence McKinney in the first round with 1 second to go. Controversial stoppage, but either way, good win for Bobby Green. Very impressive. Weathered the storm and got the win. But I think if you've been on Twitter, this is a very obvious matchup. His opponent called Bobby Green out straight after the fight, and that is Dan Hooker. This would be a sick fight. This would be so sick. Respect for Dan Hooker calling him out. It's taken time for spending time with the CKB boys behind the scenes. You know what I mean. Yeah, this would be a sick fight. Stick it on the main card of a pay-per-view. Maybe the opening fight on the main card. This would be a sick fight. Bobby Green does need to step up. Also on a 5 fight win streak now. I think it's a 4 fight win streak now. And yeah, this would be a sick fight. Dan Hooker coming off a loss to, what was his last fight? Oh, Benoit Saint Denis, where he just got dominated. He looked pretty decent in that first round. Dan Hooker hurt Benoit to the body with them teeps. Yeah, this would be a sick fight. I'll be very excited to see this. Hopefully it's booked. Bobby Green said he wants to be back in September on the LA card. I think he said Dan Hooker hasn't fought since, what was it, January, February. He had that fight with Benoit. So this fight can be booked towards the end of the year. Let's go for it, man. That'll be sick. Moving on. Lona Kavanagh obviously had that loss to Brandon Royval on the weekend. A lot of people shitting on him on social media. That's just because their parlay got ruined. I think he looked good. I thought he fought well, and he nearly finished Brandon Royval in the second round. So he fought well, and Brandon Royval is not a guy you should be ashamed to lose to. He's been at the top of the flyweight division for a long time. He's fought the best. He's got a win over Tatsuro Taira, who's just challenged for the title. So it's no shame. And I've got one matchup specifically that would get Lona Kavanagh back into the win column, and is very winnable. It's a guy who's on the decline, who shouldn't be in the top 10 of the rankings or in the rankings at all, and that is Amir Albazi, coming off that loss to Horiguchi, where he got completely dominated in the Apex back in, what was it, January, February. And that was his first fight in about a year and a half. I don't know, the guy's got terrible, I think he's injured actually, so I'll take that back. Yeah, this is such a winnable fight for Lona Kavanagh. Maybe put it in the Apex, take some of the pressure off. Yeah, Amir Albazi isn't the most, shocking name to have on your resume. Oh my god, he beat that guy. But, it's a guy who is in the top 10 for some reason. I don't know why. I think he got a win over, was it Kai Kara France a couple of years ago. Don't know when it was. I think that's the only reason he's in the rankings somehow. And that was a robbery as well. I don't know how he got that win. Either way, it's a winnable fight for Lona Kavanagh. Like I said, put it in the Apex, take the pressure off, maybe an Apex co-main event, or you put it on a fight night, co-main event, or something like that, on a main card of a fight night. This would be a good fight for Lona Kavanagh, get his confidence back, and it's definitely winnable, and I definitely think he'd put Amir Albazi away by TKO, by knockout. Moving on. Brandon Royval. I'm just going to skim over this one. He called him out, Amabaev's called him out as well. There you go, sorted. Moving on. Corey Sandhagen. It's a tricky spot for Corey Sandhagen now. Obviously, he's well out of the title picture. Lost his title fight to Marab back in October, November last year. and has now just lost to Mario Batista. So I don't think he should fight anyone near the top 5, top 6 in the bantamweight division. He definitely needs to step down an opponent, let someone else have a chance to crack into the top 5, top 6 of the rankings. I don't know where this guy's been. I know it's not his fault. He's been complaining that UFC isn't giving him fights, and that is Peyton Talbot. This would be a cool fight. This would be a really cool fight. But you could easily book this as like a fight night main event or on the main card of a pay-per-view. I will not be complaining one bit if this was on the main card of a pay-per-view. It's a good opportunity for Peyton Talbot. Hasn't fought since his win in December against Henry Cejudo. Looked good in this fight. I know obviously Henry Cejudo was on the out and he's very old and that was his retirement fight, but he looked good. Peyton Talbot took him down. That's an Olympic gold medalist. But yeah, this would be a good fight. They both got good striking. Peyton Talbot could mix in the wrestling. We know it's pretty decent. This would be a cool fight. I'd love to see this, like I said, on the main card of pay-per-view or even as a fight night main event towards the end of the year. Get Peyton Talbot a fight, whether it's Corey Sandhagen or not, just get him a fight. Moving on. We've got Mario Batista, who defeated Corey Sandhagen and looked very good. I'm not sure why I picked against him, but then again, is what it is. He looked very good in that fight. It's a tricky position here for Mario Batista as well, because a lot of the guys at the top of the bantamweight division are matched up. For example, Sean O'Malley's probably going to wait for a title shot. Marab and Yan are probably going to run the trilogy. Umar and Yadong are fighting each other, but I do think he should fight the loser of Song Yadong and Umar, because the winner of this, especially if Umar wins, he's going to wait for a title shot. Song Yadong could do as well, because he's coming off that win, Devson Figueiredo a couple months ago. Fight the loser of this, especially if it's Umar, is a good opportunity. And either one of these two guys is a good name to have on your resume. When was the last time Umar fought? Umar hasn't fought in a while, to be honest. Umar fought back in January against Figueiredo as well. So both these guys, before they fight each other, they're coming off wins against Figueiredo. And when's that? August? I think it's the end of August, that fight. Mario Batista can sit on the sidelines for a little while, wait for the loser. And if it's a good fight to make, maybe a fight night main event in China again if Song Yadong wins, or an Apex main event maybe if Umar wins. Either one of them works, or on a main card of pay-per-view. Any of that works. Let's go for that. Moving on. Benoit Saint Denis obviously lost to Paddy Pimblett by first round submission in less than a minute. I've got a few options here for Benoit. There's an upcoming matchup in the lighter division in the Apex in, 2-3 weeks, and that is Gamrot versus Salkild. I do think, as much as I want Quinn Salkild to win this, I do think Gamrot will win this, and then you can book Benoit Saint Denis versus Gamrot, which would be an interesting fight. I think that's a winnable fight for Gamrot, but also Benoit gets the win. It's an impressive win. He's a tricky customer. He's given a lot of top guys trouble. He has that win over Arman Sarukian years ago. Not sure how much that means now, but either way, it's impressive. But there's also another guy that you could book versus Benoit, and that is Rafael Fiziev. Obviously, a couple of weeks ago, knocking out Manuel Torres in the second round. This would be a sick fight. Benoit Saint Denis versus Rafael Fiziev. That would be a sick fight. Fight night main event. Main card of a pay-per-view. Any one of them, that would be a sick fight. Both guys are going to go out there and scrap. Oh, that would be sick. That is proper mouth-watering stuff, mate. That is sick. That would be a sick fight. I don't know how much time Benoit wants to take off, because there is that Paris card in September. I know I've heard stuff obviously about Tom Aspinall gone in that September card. That will turn into a pay-per-view, because obviously right now it's listed as a fight night. But if it stays as a fight night, you could easily do Benoit Saint Denis versus Rafael Fiziev as the main event of a fight night if Benoit wants to come back that early. Or co-main event of a fight night, co-main event of a pay-per-view, whatever you do on that Paris card, it should be alright. But for then, Benoit Fiziev took no damage in his last fight. Book that would be a sick fight. Moving on, we've got Paddy Pimblett, obviously beating Benoit Saint Denis by submission in the first round. I shouldn't have to gloss over this one too much. It's obvious now. You book him versus Ilia Topuria. Apologies for the Ilia Topuria picture. I don't know why he's so blurry, but either way, Paddy Pimblett versus Ilia Topuria. This would be the greatest build-up, or one of the greatest build-ups, one of the best press conferences in UFC history. These two hate each other. Book it now. Co-main event of a pay-per-view. I'll not be complaining one bit. Ilia Topuria, I think he wants to be back by the end of the year. I don't think he will be. The amount of damage he took, I think we'll see him at the start of next year. Paddy's already fought twice this year. He might want to be back by the end of the year, Paddy. Who knows? I think he'll easily wait for this Topuria matchup. I think it's a good matchup, and I think it's gonna. this would be so sick, mate. This would be so sick. Yeah, Paddy Pimblett versus Ilia Topuria, co-main event of a pay-per-view. It's a good opportunity for both guys. Insane build-up, insane press conference. That'd be brilliant. Next, we got Conor McGregor, obviously doing his leg in. I said ACL injury in my reaction video. I just kind of that's what Joe Rogan was going on about, and Dana White said he didn't. I can't remember what Dana White said. He either said he did or he didn't. It maybe wasn't ACL. That's what I just heard. I don't know, but he blew something in his leg in the first round versus Max Holloway. McGregor is kind of washed. I did say this like in my reaction video. Something just felt off. And what do you expect? 5 years off. Not really. I know he's been so-called locking in and training recently, but 5 years off. You know, partying, getting into controversies, and you know, doing a lot of the Class A's. I don't think it has an effect on your body, and I just think we saw that against Max Holloway. Maybe his body just can't perform at that high level anymore. But there's one guy who's left for him before he can retire, and that is Michael Chandler. He's been calling for that matchup for years now. You know what? Michael Chandler's washed. They're both washed. Just book it. Just book it. In the Apex, let's book it. Fight night main event in the Apex. Conor McGregor versus Michael Chandler. Let's do that. Loser has to retire, and the winner joins them in retirement. Let's book that shit. Come on. Seriously though, both these guys should retire. I'm just joking. Get them out of here. Never want to see him in the UFC again. Just call it a day for both of them. Either way, moving on. Final fight I'm going to talk about. We've got Max Holloway. Obviously, if you can call it a win, it's still going to go down as a win. Let's call it a win versus Conor McGregor on the weekend. Again, it's a bit awkward at the top of the lightweight division now. Obviously, Sarukian is probably going to wait out for a title shot. I think he probably will get the next title shot versus Gaethje. Oliveira's also calling for a title shot as well against Gaethje, because obviously he's got that win over him. I know Max Holloway has a win over Gaethje, but I don't think he will get that title shot, obviously, because he just lost to Oliveira back in March. So there's no one really right at the top of the lightweight division that you could book him against. There is one guy though that I think would be a sick fight, and I know they go to Brazil on a fight night, usually towards the end of the year, and they might do again this year. He's coming off a win at the White House. That is Maurizio Ruffi. This would be a sick fight. I've said that about 10 fights in this card, but you know, it's because I'm making myself. This would be a sick fight. Two high-level strikers. They'll just stand and trade for the whole fight. Neither man's going to try and shoot takedowns here. This would be a sick fight. This would be a very high-level stand-up fight. Put it as a main event in Brazil, fight night towards the end of the year. Maurizio Ruffi, what's he on? 2-fight win streak now. Beating out old man Chandler. And Fiziev before that. The Fiziev one was very impressive considering what Fiziev did to Manuel Torres. Yeah. This would be a sick fight. Massive step up for Maurizio Ruffi compared to his last two opponents. And Max Holloway wins this. He just proves he's still elite in the lightweight division. And then you get another top matchup. Maurizio Ruffi wins this, however, he'll probably be calling for a title shot or a number one contender fight. Definitely, if he wins this. This would be a sick fight. Anyway, guys, this was my fights to make after UFC 329. If you enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe. You know what it is. Either way, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.